Something big happened in Where Winds Meet. Some of you might have not even realized it by now, and those who do might not know why this is so big. Clickbait. Check. So as you guys know, Where Winds Meet is going to have a huge big update on Friday, including a new area, including new bosses, a new sect that you can join, which is the Velvet Shade. And I already made a whole video on that and you can check it out, also including the roadmap and including the dev Q&A. But this morning we received a big update to the game in terms of quality of life, and some of you might have not even realized it. We had a short downtime this morning and they ninja patched a lot of cool things into the game and haven't even shared patch notes for that. So in today's video, I want to go over all these things. And trust me, there's a lot of cool stuff in this. And it also comes with a big message. And before we start, just if you missed this info from my last video, I'm going all into YouTube and streaming, which means this is my main job now. So if you want to support me, maybe consider leaving a sub and also liking this video and leaving a comment. It helps me insanely much. Thank you so much. All right, so now let's jump in. As I mentioned, they made some big quality of life changes in today's patch. Now, before we go into each of them, I just quickly want to explain why this is so big, especially for the future of the game. So listen, I received a lot of questions about quality of life improvements of the game that the Chinese version already has, and specifically when we are going to get them in the global version, because we want to be treated equally, you know. And originally I thought they are not going to put in the extra work to disconnect quality of life updates from future versions of the game to put them into earlier versions, also to not mess with the code, because it would be way easier to just update the game the same way that they did to the Chinese version. They literally just have to translate the versions and that's it. But apparently they gave us some of these quality of life updates way earlier. Now that ultimately is a great sign for the future of the game, because they do care about the feedback from global and try to act swiftly and even put in the extra work to give us what we want. So that ultimately means we might get more quality of life updates way earlier than expected. In fact, they might even start to make quality of life updates to both versions of the game at the same time when it comes to very new updates, which would be insane. And it could also mean that they are speeding up the progress of the global version. And don't quote me on that, but maybe we get new content a little earlier than expected. Obviously, once they fixed everything that they wanted to fix. All right, but now let's go over today's changes of the patch, where there's no patch notes. So I hope I don't miss anything. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section below. But this is what I found. All right, so the first thing is we got custom buttons for Mystical Arts 5 to 8. For that, you go into the button settings under keyboard and mouse, and you go into custom single. And now you can basically give Mystical Skill 5 to 8, which is 1 to 4 on the second page, a custom button. This is specifically important for these players that hate pressing Alt, so that's a good thing. If you're a World of Warcraft player that is used to using the buttons 5 to 8 as well, you can now finally do that. Now this comes with another really cool thing, because if you look below me right now, you can see that if you use any custom button, just one, you will see the Mystical Arts 5 to 8 on your UI. Now this is really important because you see the buttons that you have to press, and you also finally see the cooldowns all the time, which is really important for PvP, for example, for Serene Breeze, because it has a 40-second cooldown and you always have to keep track of its cooldown. Now, I personally didn't want to have this skill in my 1 to 4 because I wanted to have skills on these buttons that I use frequently, which is why I never really kept track of the cooldown of my Serene Breeze. But this is really important for PvP, so this is great. I love it. Now, another thing that I really had issues with, switching between the heals and the weapon coating items, because you had to press Alt and use left and right click for that, and I don't know why, but it always took me so long. And sometimes I forgot to switch back to the healing, and then I wanted to heal myself, but instead I put the coating on my weapon, so that was not good and made me die a lot, far more than I would like to admit. Now this also has been solved with the new button settings. So if you go back into the custom single buttons, you now have buttons for switching items left and right. And I just put one to right, so I don't have to go left and right. I mean, it's just 3 items, so one button should be enough. Another big thing that they have changed is the PvP time zones. Even though it is bugged for me, so it's showing a wrong time, it should run from early afternoon to late evening now for your time zone instead of like starting at midnight. So everyone can now enjoy PvP. And the people with jobs can now finally fight the jobless. Enjoy. And for those of you who also have a guild, it finally also fixes the guild event timers. Not fully, but almost. So you can now pick your local time in the modified timer and it's gonna be in the local time and not the Chinese time. It's still a little buggy, to be fair, like it has some problems with dates sometime, and on this one event I can only go until 16:30, while on the other event I can choose times up to midnight. So ultimately I think they will definitely make it possible so you can run events late evening in Europe and not just afternoon, and everything's gonna work. They are just bug fixing it now. It's a little buggy, but they finally fixed the time zones, which is great, which is probably one of the coolest things. And also your chat is now finally having the right times displayed instead of Chinese time. And it also seems that they finally added voice lines to most attacks in the game, which makes you feel like a Naruto character.
More wins. I'm out of here. Inner circle.
Beyond that, they also added some icons to the friend list. I hope this was not in the game before. If so, I'm sorry, but I think it's new. And it shows you basically some icons like who's in your like Zorn Brotherhood, who's in your sect, who's in your partnership and stuff like that. And now comes a big one. They actually reworked the Appereance menu. So the whole menu looks different now, but that is not the point. They already added buttons for upper and lower body, which means they are already preparing for the update where we can use different upper and lower parts of cosmetics. I didn't expect that to happen that fast. And honestly, I can't wait for it. And with the time zone changes, they also gave us time settings in the game, so it seems to not be fully available, but they will give you the option to either use the server time or use your local time or use UTC or not use UTC, which will allow planning with your guild, planning events a lot easier. But that is everything that I have seen so far about the changes that they made, but maybe you have found something that I haven't found. So if that is the case, please share that in the comment section below. Also, please let me know in the comments which quality of life updates are you looking forward to. I know most of you are looking forward to creating a second character or deleting your character. I know they are working on it. It's probably gonna release soon. But what else are you looking forward to? Anything specific? Maybe I can send it to the developers and maybe they focus it then. Now, if you want to see 10 advanced tips for the game, maybe you missed the video. I made a whole video on that. Like advanced late game tips that you should know. Maybe check the video out. It's a great video. And if you don't have the time, thank you for watching this video. I see you in the next one. Have a great evening. Bye bye.